attention.
This is 3D or 2D.com's Duh 3D Show.
Put on your 3D glasses now.
If you're wondering what the 3D stand for, they are discussion, debate, and the news. We hope that you enjoy the show. Get it? The show?
The first part of this podcast was recorded on September 27th, 2020 at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and the second part of this podcast was recorded on October 6th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Some things may have changed since the recording of this podcast. Just want to give you a heads up so you know. Welcome to episode 92. I'm Adolph. I have with me the Jakes. First off, Classic Jake.
Howdy, folks.
And New Jake.
Hi, everybody.
And today we got quite a few topics to talk about. So, New Jake, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about probably the best news so far this year. The release date of Croods 2 being moved up.
Yeah, it's kind of insane that the first movie we got a move up. Everything else has been delayed, and that's being moved up a month. So now it's coming out on November 25th. It was a Christmas release. And the Croods 2, which is Croods A New Age, the new official title, it was completely silent about this. Like, the only reason I knew about the Croods 2 was I saw like a schedule of movies coming out. Like, we now saw no trailers, no teasers, nothing until now.
Yeah, I mean, it was canceled at one point. I'm like, well, there's no more Croods.
Yeah.
Nothing more for it.
It was in development hell for a while, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody's it's canceled. No more. Moving on to other things.
Oh, it probably got resurrected because in the pandemic, you can quickly work on anime. Nobody has to be in a room with anybody to do an animated movie.
No, of course not. But it's been in production since 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no trailers for it. I don't know what, do we need Croods 2 in this time? It's been 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. And that's the good thing you mentioned because, it's just like, it's been forever since this came out, the original.
I don't even remember the first.
It's just it's a Nick Cage animated movie.
Nick Cage, Emma Stone, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The trailer didn't even look like a real trailer. I was like going, huh? It just looked like they just took some scenes. It looked like a sneak peek of scenes we've got animated.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like a rehash of the first film almost.
Yeah, but they meet new people. So I'm like going, okay, are these supposed to be Homo sapiens, Devinsons? Because, it's obvious they're not Neanderthals or Cro-Magnons.
No, because they know farming technology and they got more advanced housing.
Mm-hmm. So, or am I reading too much into a cartoon?
I think you're reading too much to the cartoon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What can I say? I grew up on the Flintstones.
I did too.
Yeah.
So the Croods was actually really interesting because I remember that movie and the trailers, and it's like, that looks dumb. I don't watch it. And then I watched it, I think on Netflix or something, and I was like, this is actually really good. I was surprised how much I liked the original Croods. What about y'all?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
For that time period of DreamWorks animation films, it was probably the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Compared to Turbo and Mr. Peabody and Sherman, this is the shining star.
Yeah.
How was Peabody and Sherman? I haven't watched that one.
It was good.
Disappointing. It's okay, but it's not nearly as good as the original source material.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah, you guys mentioned the plot. They basically meet a new people, and these people have not technology, but agriculture, and they live in a tree, and they have a wall protecting them, which is like, I wonder where they got that idea from.
I think it's almost like a gated community suburb type thing instead of a political. But, to each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was really thinking that they would just keep the Christmas and just release this directly to home and just move on, not actually get a theatrical release, because it just made sense to. But the biggest surprise is that they actually do confirm 3D in there, which so many movies lately we don't have confirmation anymore, and it got confirmed. So awesome.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, let's hope it's a confirmation and not they just forgot to remove it.
Been there a time.
Hobbs and Shaw.
You had the 3D Blu-ray of that, and it's pretty decent.
So do I. Yeah, I was like, I am going to see this in 3D. I was starting to think I was hallucinating or something, having seen the trailer in 3D.
Yeah, I think they just probably got the overseas logo mixed up with the American one, probably, for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep going. So, Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
I guess let's talk about Dune.
So,
good choice.
Yeah, this was something that we also knew about coming, but we had no trailers, nothing really. I mean, I think it was like a teaser, but it was nothing of a teaser, and we really didn't know anything about this, and we got a full-on trailer. It looks amazing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like they're adapting they're going with part book and part David Lynch's version of adaptation, because I've noticed the casting, he's going with the Atreides being dark-haired and stuff like in the Lynch movie instead of the blonde from the books.
Yeah. I have never read the book. I have never seen the movie. I've never seen the miniseries. So I'm going in completely blind with this one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's the books are great, but they're not a book. They're not books that you're going to just breeze through reading. They're very dense.
No. Yeah, I hear that it's almost like probably like Lord of the Rings, but in space.
But the language is a little easier. Lord of the Rings is just some of the it's a little old fashioned because of when it was written. So sometimes it's harder but it's not nearly as hard to read as Eisenhoff's Foundation series. Oh God, I gave up just one of those.
I've read some of his short stories, and it's kind of dense, but interesting at the same time. But I know the book was written in the 1960s, so it kind of makes sense how it would be like easier to read.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the film is going to be usually, I think it's supposed to be the first half of the novel, and they're supposed to be making another film. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, Dune is such a huge story. There's no way one movie is going to capture an entire book. In fact, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they're even going with something other than. Of course, the miniseries wasn't I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, I hear it's more accurate to the source, but I hear it's also kind of dense at the same time. But I have never seen it, so I can't judge. It's
pace. It's kind of weird. It's like one of those things. I don't know if anybody who hasn't read the books can follow it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like from the trailer itself, it's kind of hard to follow just going in blind, because I don't know what the story is really about.
It's about spices.
Right. It's about the foundation of McCormick spices.
Yeah.
Great story.
Well. Basically, it's this one group of people is trying to breed a Kwisatz Haderach, who's this master person that will lead them into a new age, and their plans get derailed because one woman who's supposed to do this one thing does something else for her husband, and chaos. But they end up with the person they were trying to create, but Paul Atreides. That's not a spoiler, by the way, not
Right.
really. It's on the blurb in all the books backs, and they can't control him.
So
there's a lot more going on than that, and the spice is what enhances these abilities in certain people, and they can also use it to fold space. So it's how they travel.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's almost like a Messiah story, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a very dark, very dry parody of some of this stuff.
It sounds interesting. I mean, I know I read a little bit about, like it's almost like Islamic Middle Eastern traditions. Like I know something about like there's a jihad, which I don't think that's going to be in the film.
They'll call it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A prophecy or something, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the casting in this is amazing.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, he's actually inspired for Paul Atreides casting.
Yeah, I agree. I really like him.
Mm-hmm. Jason Momoa is Aquaman, or not Aquaman, but I mean he was Aquaman.
He's playing. I think he's playing Duncan Idaho.
Yes.
Who was played by Patrick Stewart in the Lynch one.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
I know Stellan Skarsgård's in the film, but I can't even recognize.
Yeah.
So Kristen, which is not here today, she said she was impressed by how the emo Pink Floyd cover. It does sound awesome.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Apparently that from Wikipedia, it said the cover, which is Pink Floyd's Eclipse, was done via FaceTime. 32 people choir recorded it for this trailer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they really got the guitar work on that really good, because most Pink Floyd covers, they can't match Roger Waters' playing. So that's why I normally don't like most Floyd covers. But this one was amazing.
Pretty good.
It looks cool. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is that they did not mention 3D in the trailer.
It's Denis Villeneuve, so 3D is almost a given at this point.
Yeah, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought Zendaya being cast as one of the Fremen, the lead Fremen, was inspired casting.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Young played the part in the Lynch movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering, since you mentioned Pink Floyd, I'm kind of wondering if that's a throwback to when Alejandro Jodorowsky was supposed to be directing a Dune film, and he wanted Pink Floyd to do the score. I'm kind of wondering if that's why he did.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know if it was a bone or throwing shade, because Alejandro's been throwing some shade about this movie after the trailer came out.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen his film back in the 70s, but I mean, what can you do?
Else would have, yeah, everybody else would have too, but but Hollywood's gonna Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the director is the same director as Blade Runner 2049, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Prisoners.
Seen it. Arrival.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good.
So he definitely has talent, and I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm a little bit worried about Christmas. I don't know if this is gonna be. I can't imagine Christmas being a family holiday you go to the movies for, and I don't know if a family's gonna want to watch Dune.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be almost a 3-hour film, so that's probably gonna cut into the box office in that as well. So probably will flop.
This will probably. It's one of these movies that will probably be like the first Dune. It'll make money eventually.
Maybe it'll be huge foreign markets, not in the U.S., but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Not in the age of
not in Egypt, Lebanon.
Not in the age of COVID. If they open this, I will probably 2 weeks after it opens, I might slip into an auditorium and pray that it's not too crowded.
No, 6 feet apart now.
Yeah, well, when I made the mistake of going to see New Mutants, I left a couple of screenings because there were not social distancing, and I'm like, I'll take so many chances to go to a movie, but not this many.
Don't risk your life for New Mutants. It's not worth it.
Yeah, no shit. I finally did see it, and oh god, it's worse than I thought it was going to be. Oh my god,
I had some hope for it.
it's bad. I mean, it's not as bad as Eclipse.
I'd rather watch Apocalypse. Something happened in that movie.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, New Mutants. Like, there's a lot of bad accents in New Mutants.
Yes, there was.
Yes. Yeah, Charlie.
Finishing up on Dune, it does definitely has a big budget, and Warner Brothers is definitely, really going to. It's very interesting that this is now going to be coming out right next to Wonder Woman, which is our next topic. That Wonder Woman 1984 got a new trailer, and it got delayed to Christmas. So somehow a week, this is going to come out on December 18th, Dune, and Wonder Woman is going to come out on December 25th. Apparently. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see. Wonder Woman now delayed. How does that make you feel? Ready for Christmas with Wonder Woman?
Yes, it does. I'm excited.
I'm just saying this movie has no excuses left. They've had all the time in the world to edit this thing to perfection.
I think it's already in the can. They're just waiting for it to release.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the apocalypse to wind down. So
this apocalypse is so boring, though.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I always thought we would be running around like Mad Max instead of all in our PJs like the dude. You know?
Yeah, I mean, at least you got a forest fire to help inspire some apocalyptic fear.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God. But it's mostly. But we got a whole lot of racists running around, so that's fun.
That's everywhere.
Yeah, I live near the staging area where the Proud Boys and all those idiots plan their crap. But when they go into Portland to go fight the non-existent Antifa.
So Wonder Woman's trailer, new trailer. What do you guys think of that? What do you think of Cheetah in this? I think it looks awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Cheetah.
What was that, New Jake?
I'm not sure about Cheetah.
Okay, why?
Mainly because of Kristen Wiig. I've never seen her in a role like this. I don't know how she's going to handle the action, the acting, like just everything about it. I'm not 100% sure.
True.
Yeah, it's true. And this trailer wasn't as good as the last trailer. Last trailer was a great trailer with everything kind of in the beat with the music. I mean, it just was just a bam. It was like an 80s music video. Perfect.
So, in this one, it looks like Max Lord has some powers to get like wishes, and that's how things are done. And it looks like he's president or something. It's not really clear.
Yeah, I'm still not too sure about what the plot's going to be, except Wonder Woman has to save the day.
Cheetah is an interesting character. They showed her a couple times in the trailer, but mostly in dark scenes, so not in broad daylight. I think her CG looks fine. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's amazing. It looks fine. What do you guys think?
Dark covers up a lot of stars, so.
Yeah. One thing, it looks like they changed her backstory, thank God. Because if they made her comic accurate, it would not fly today. Hell, it didn't fly when they did it.
What was it? Because I'm not familiar with it.
It was major slut shaming.
Nice.
Yeah, she basically does this deal, and because she wasn't a virgin, she's cursed.
Mm.
Yeah, They got so much shit from both sides of it. How dare you have a character that's a whore, and how dare you slut shame? Blah. I mean, it was just a dumb idea.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weird things about Wonder Woman. If you look into her.
Oh yeah, there's a really cool biopic about Wonder Woman's creator that I highly recommend.
I heard that was a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
He's super into S&M. Super into it. Like, that was his kink. And I'm not kink shaming, but it's just, damn. And,
Oh, and H.G. Peters was his artist. Oh my God, it's beautiful work. I highly recommend checking out Golden Age Wonder Woman.
I'll have to do that.
With H.G. Peters. He's one of the greatest bondage artists of all time.
I'll take your word for it.
And Jake, I don't know if you know, but Wonder Woman, her powers can be muted if she is bound by a man.
Oh, I did not know that, but yeah, it sounds like some bondage.
That's why she was constantly tied up.
Yeah, there's like a quote originally there, and it's like, I am as weak as a regular woman whenever I'm tied up by a man. It's like so sexist, so trash, so bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like, how the hell are you gonna tie up Wonder Woman?
But the art is gorgeous.
The art is gorgeous. Oh, there's a plus.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. The stuff written by Mark and Yeah, I don't even remember H.G. Peters drawing anything else but Wonder Woman.
That's all he needed to do.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah, now Christmas. Now that's going to be a family movie. I imagine if people feel comfortable, they'll absolutely take their entire family to see Wonder Woman. I think that's going to basically go off Dune a week after it releases. If they both release at this time, if they're scheduled to, I can't imagine Dune really surviving. Maybe that goes number 2, but still, it's going to be a bloodbath.
I think they're going to delay Dune to March, probably.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on whether there's a change in leadership and a direction in combating the COVID pandemic. If people have a sense that we're on the track to recovery or have felt sufficient recovery, I think people may wander out besides the few hardcore film buffs who are so desperate for a theatrical experience they'll risk life and limb to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, even if a new president is selected next in November, they're not going to take power until January. So,
mm-hmm. But that won't. But if it's depending on the outcome and how much of a mandate Biden gets or from it, I could see even a stupid Republican Congress who's what am I saying? Of course not. They're not going to do anything but try to get a Supreme Court justice through. They don't give a crap about us.
Yeah,
they're going to let us. They're going to let us die.
Yeah.
So why am I thinking that they'll change their tune and try to save us? Sorry, people. I for a moment thought that humanity had turned a corner. I'm wrong. My bad.
And being 2020 what 2020 is, I wouldn't be surprised if we get into a 2000 kind of quagmire with multiple states and, Trump not conceding and multiple states having millions of ballots thrown out because of bullshit, so yay, but hopefully not. But, considering 2020, it probably will. Who knows?
Yeah, it's 2020.
All right.
Expect the worst.
So let's keep going here. Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
Which one?
Yeah. Classic Jake. Sorry.
Go.
Okay. Oh, let's talk about the Black Adam movie.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We briefly mentioned the Dwayne Johnson spiel at Fandom, where he really played the wrestling heel kind of bring it speech. I mean, he was on fire. He was doing his old wrestling stuff. What we got to see what The Rock was cooking. And I'm like going, okay, you've had a decade? So yeah, so you were thinking about it. This wasn't just something you just agreed to 10 years ago and you're like, oh, we're doing it now. So there was actually some planning and thought to it. And I was actually intrigued by these bringing in the Justice Society.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for those that don't know, they're like the Justice League, but they were the Golden Age equivalent. And they got retconned into being on Earth 2. Then Crisis happened, and then they went back to being the Golden Age, World War II heroes. And I don't know what their status is now. There've been so many crises at DC. I'm like, I'm over it. But so we're getting the Justice Society of America, who's also on the CW DC Plus, if that still exists, show Stargirl. And of course, they've also been on various CW shows and animated shows. So the JSA has been in media outside of comics. So maybe you have some familiarity with them. And they announced recently the casting of Aldous Hodge for Hawkman. This is a brilliant casting. You might remember him from Leverage. He was in the Invisible Man remake that came out late last year, early this year. He is also in the WGN America show Underground. I mean, this is a really accomplished actor.
Hidden Figures.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Shredder Compton as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Jack Reacher 2.
Mm-hmm. And of course,
2 Die Hard films.
Yeah, and the fanboys are having an absolute fit. But I'm like, the people who have a fit about this casting, you've got my middle finger right now. And if you keep it up, you'll get my other one. This is a great actor. This is great casting. Heck, there's been a lot of good Hawkmen. And then some not so good Hawkmen. I mean, I really like Michael Shanks in the part on Smallville.
Never seen it.
Oh, he was good in it. Smallville, most of it's trash, but every once in a while, it really good.
I agree with you, Classic Jake. Smallville is so up and down. It drove me crazy. Because like one episode would be amazing, one episode would be trash, and then it just goes up and down, and then it lasted 12 seasons or 11 seasons, and it took forever to get anything going. It kind of spun its wheels. And the best thing about Smallville was Lex. I think that Lex is amazing. The best.
Amazing. I like Tom Welling too. The chemistry between those two. I can remember watching Smallville with my dad, and he'd just go, "Why don't those two just get a room?"
So
their chemistry is too good.
Yeah. The Justice Society members are Atom Smasher, Blue Devil, Citizen Steel, Cyclone, Dark Knight, Dr. Fate, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hourman, Jesse Quick, just to name a few. So there's been a lot, and basically, Classic Jake is right. They kind of used it as like the original Justice League, and for this movie, it looks like they're trying to contain Black Adam in the past. And
oh yeah,
obviously Black Adam is one of the more powerful superheroes or not villains, but anti-heroes. It's kind of wishy-washy where Black Adam is.
Yeah, well, Black Adam was created by Otto Binder, and he had like one golden age. He was a one-and-done villain. But he was one of those characters that was so good they brought him back in this when DC finally got the rights to Fawcett's catalog and characters, and they brought Shazam and had to rename Captain Marvel to Shazam. That's a whole other story. That this podcast we've went over it before. We'll do it again, but today's not the day. They decided to bring back Black Adam. And they kind of just gave him Submariner's personality.
So, yeah, Black Adam has the same power set as Shazam. And he's supposed to have taken power or given the power from the wizard Shazam. But he mistaked and he turned evil, and the wizard Shazam apparently shot him into space, into another galaxy or something, or another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of depends.
Oh no, almost to the end of the universe, and it took him a couple thousand years to fly back.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then the big red cheese, Captain Marvel, beats his ass, and then we don't see him again until the 70s.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Otto Binder is one of the great unsung comic creators that people don't really remember today, and they should.
So Black Adam has been powerful for a long time and knows his powers, unlike Shazam, which, recently got his powers and is still inherently a kid, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the comics, they've done a lot of interesting things with him. Like, they had him marry a character that DC created for a TV show, Isis. But I imagine she's either not gonna be in the movie or she's getting a name change.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why couldn't we call ISIS what the Arab world called ISIS? Daesh.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I really don't think Americans will go see a movie with a superhero named ISIS.
No.
So back to Black Adam. It's gonna be interesting how they make him like an anti-hero or a villain. Because it's been wishy-washy. Like I said it before. Sometimes he's straight up villain to Shazam. Sometimes, he's just like an anti-hero where he's kind of, not entirely evil, but he just doesn't know any better. And it's how they make that, is going to be really interesting. And of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is awesome in basically everything he touches.
Right. But
yeah.
I think he's supposed to be the villain in Shazam too, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. I guess they're seeing how this flies before they move on to Shazam 2, but don't quote me.
Because I think it's only just a 5-month difference between Black Adam and Shazam 2, so I mean that's not a lot of leeway for a change.
Yeah, that's true. I'm figuring they're going to go with a version of Black Adam who's a ruler of a fictional Middle East country, Kandistan, or it's this generic that's had many villains lead it. It kind of reminds me of the whole Dr. Doom thing, except Dwayne Johnson's character, Black Adam, is nice to his people, ruthless to everybody else.
Yeah. Almost kind of get a Magneto vibe with that, where when he created Genosha. So I kind of got that more than Doctor Doom.
It also reminds me a lot, like I said, his personality is pretty much Submariner's.
Right. I am not familiar with Submariner, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Submariner used to be really good, but they've now turned him into an X-Men, and I'm like, I'm over it.
So Shazam 2 did get a name, by the way. It is Shazam Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how this all plays out. Very, it's been a long time that he's been Black Adam. He was cast as Black Adam like 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's keep going. New Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
I would like to talk about the Batman to keep the DC train rolling.
Okay, so they recently stopped production because at first it was someone on the set got COVID, and then later it got revealed that it was Patterson himself, Batman, got COVID.
Yeah.
And now they're filming other scenes without him. And is there anything else updated from that or no?
From what I could read, it was they were building sets, but I think they have to stop filming because there's nothing else.
Yikes. Just hope he recovers and hope he doesn't have too many complications.
That's true. I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, is Batman going to make its street date of October of 2021 now because of the constant delays and the increasing budget?
I would say there's a good chance it doesn't. And even if it does, there's a good chance it'll get knocked because everything else is getting knocked.
That's true. I mean, because there's not going to be any 2021 films. It's going to be 2020 films in 2021, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And what you said about complications is really interesting. I fully expect and hope that, Patterson survives. You never know with COVID-19 if it's how bad you get it. It's random, I guess. But he may have complications where, even if he does survive fully and is fine in 2 weeks or whatever, I don't know exactly when he got it or when is that, but it may give him complications and may be hard to do the role, harder, because, Batman is a notorious character. You have to put your everything in it. You have to be 100% fully physically fit, and, it's a demanding role. So it may be really hard to continue filming it, and we'll just have to kind of see and hope the best for him.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably have to rely on CGI or stuntmen or, a whole number of doubles that they could use, but I hope he recovers.
Yeah.
So, speaking of COVID-19, our next topic is, Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic World 3, has basically continued to try to film in London, and they basically, the story is that they're spending up to $3 million on testing alone just to be able to continue shooting. And that's just kind of part of the production costs now, is that you just have to keep testing people and just, it is what it is, and you just got to keep on going. We're going to make this movie one way or another, hell or high water. And the fact that it's just $3 million just on testing is insane.
But just a drop in the hat for a Hollywood production. I mean, $3 million is catering for a blockbuster like Jurassic World 3.
Yeah, let's just hope they put some money on rewrites, because these movies are notoriously poorly written.
That's to say the most about it.
I'm trying to be nice.
I mean, the first one was okay, just in nostalgia's sake, but the second one is just sloppy.
Oh, it's so stupid, but I enjoy them for being so stupid.
Yeah,
and
the
third one has that dream sequence with the dinosaur. Alan! I love that.
Oh, he's opening back, so hopefully they'll do a callback to that.
Yeah. I want a knit sweater so bad with that dinosaur going, Alan!
I would love that. I still like the third film. I mean, they're better. It's better than the Jurassic World movie so far. I mean, that's a plus.
And the 3D conversion's not too bad.
The first one I didn't care too much for. The second one was pretty spiffy, though. I really liked it.
Okay, World or park? Because I'm getting confused here.
Okay, the first Jurassic Park movie, they did a conversion.
And that looked great.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
In 3D. And I thought it was pretty good.
Yes.
The 3D on the new ones are kind of like, hit and miss. There's some great and there's some bad stuff, just like a lot of moderns.
A lot of flatness, which I wasn't expecting, especially with that scene in the World when that water dinosaur was coming up out of the ground. Like, is it going to come out of the screen? It didn't even break the barrier.
Yeah.
It did for my theater. So in my theater, it looked great, and that did pop out. And my experiences with them have been really well, the newer ones. So World and the World 2, which I don't remember the title for World 2, top of my head.
Kingdom, I think.
I don't know. I don't remember. There's no way to look. There's no way to know. The internet, it doesn't exist. But
yeah.
Anyway,
no such thing.
Actually, we don't care enough to look.
And anyway, so it's been fun. The World movies have been dumb but fun. I do enjoy the other park movies. I consider the original being a classic. So.
Oh yeah.
It's all about the dinosaurs.
Yes.
I mean, I'll be blunt. The only reason I watch these movies is to see dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Hopefully the animatronic dinosaurs, not the CG dinosaurs.
At this point, I'll take CG dinosaurs.
Alrighty. Take it.
I mean, it's not like we have a lot of choices of dinosaurs anymore.
Nope.
You would think that someone else would, try to have a big, Cretaceous world or something and try to have a dinosaur movie that's not Jurassic, but
they do. They're like these little documentaries, like Walking with Dinosaurs and stuff.
Oh, God. Oh, bad memories of that one.
Yeah. They're just one of those, you turn the sound off, turn the 3D on, and just kick back. I don't want to hear the narration. I just want to see the dinosaurs. Hey, I do that with Jurassic movies. I just turn the sound off and watch the dinosaurs.
But I want to hear the dinosaurs say Alan.
Yeah. I do that in a theater. That's what the theater's for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Classic Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
Oh, I guess we will keep going down the list. So I guess we will talk about the Disney delays. Round 2. Or is it 3? I forget. There's been so many delays.
Infinity. Disney Infinity delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so first off, Black Widow is no longer a 2020 movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see it.
Shocked. I'm shocked.
Not shocked.
Yeah. It's now coming out May 7th, 2021, which is weird because that's almost a year on date from the original release.
Yeah, I think it's a year and a week.
Yeah. Marvel has places they like to release movies, and May is one of them.
And
yes,
being that since the Marvel Cinematic Universe is connected, everything else got moved as well. So Shang-Chi is now a July 9th movie instead of early spring, and Eternals got moved from what was going to be November of this year to November of next year. So everything got pushed back. We don't know about Spider-Man. We're assuming that probably gets pushed back to maybe it's a Christmas movie. Who knows?
Who knows what Sony's going to do? Marvel doesn't know what Sony's going to do.
No.
So it's also sad because like the Eternals, we haven't seen anything about that movie. Like we haven't seen any trailers or teasers or nothing.
Yeah, poster images and fanfic. That's it.
Yeah. And all we've heard is that they're basing a lot of it on Neil Gaiman's revival.
Yeah, that's cool. I like Neil Gaiman.
And they've changed up a lot of the characters, which since nobody except a few hardcore Kirby fans know who the Eternals are, you're not gonna hear fanboy outrage. And heck, I'm a big fan, and I haven't heard anything that makes me think anything except an improvement on the source material.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about him, so
Mm-mm.
I'm going in
Well,
like I did with
the Eternals for Marvel and the New Gods for DC are pretty much basically the same characters, because Kirby went from one company to the other, and that was what he was in the mood to work on. So we just changed the names and worked on it at DC as the New Gods.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really still curious what is going on in Black Widow that is such a big thing that, you know what I'm saying? That they need to have, it needs to be a big part of the universe. And
we're going to meet, my guess, and this is just a guess, I have no inside information, is that we're going to meet the new Black Widow, who in the comics, her character is nicknamed Blonde Widow.
I think it's going to be Florence Pugh, her sister in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be her.
Mm-hmm. So they want to, make sure she debuts when it makes sense, because I don't think they want, because I have a feeling she pops up in other movies, and they want to make sure the one she's introduced in comes out first.
Yeah. They'll probably introduce her maybe in WandaVision. I doubt it, but that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We did get a new trailer for WandaVision, and it looks pretty cool. I think is that still coming out this year? I don't know.
Yeah, just confirmed this year, this holiday, I
think. We'll find out when we find out.
I mean, but it's weird. This is the first year since 2009 that we haven't had an MCU film, which I'm still reeling in shock. It really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, well, we did have a Marvel movie, New Mutants. Trust me, after you see that, you won't miss. You'll kind of be happy there isn't a.
I don't count in Marvel films.
So which is worse, the Inhumans TV show or New Mutants the movie?
I've never seen the Inhumans, so I will say New Mutants.
So, classic Jake, that's going to be a trivia for the future. What was the only Marvel movie released in 2020? And we're like, no, I don't know. New Mutants. It's like, what?
Yeah, that movie that got delayed over and over and over and over again. And I'm like going, really? You had all this time with this movie and you couldn't edit it properly?
Well, they didn't even do
reshoots. Yeah, this movie really needed reshoots. God, it was paced horribly. I'm like going, is this supposed to be a horror movie? This thing is so horribly paced.
All right, so
horror movies are all about pacing.
So WandaVision apparently is coming out this December for Christmas time, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll
believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool. It definitely looks really interesting, and the fact they got everyone, all the main characters back, it definitely looks like Wanda is literally having some kind of, bubble universe or something, and that's where everything is happening, and somehow it's affecting other parts of the real universe. Or
yeah, that house supposedly takes place in the House of M, which I don't know what that is, but it's confirmed that it's House of M. So
yeah, it's an alternate reality that Wanda creates, and it ends up with her screaming, "No more mutants!" But since Kevin Feige likes to change things around, because he's stated in several interviews that he's read the story, he's read the he wants to do something else. He wants a new story, which makes sense. So I imagine she's going to create mutants instead of them.
Maybe Quicksilver will come back.
Yeah. Hopefully the Peters one instead of the Aaron Johnson one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And in the comics, she has the ability to transform reality, and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was never really explained what the hell she does.
She can move things with her force.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
but it has nothing to do with like reshaping reality. So
Yeah.
Well, she also got her accent from Avengers Age of Ultron.
Or as Stan Lee used to always say about Wanda, she did what we needed her to do to move the story along.
He's a plot device.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what she was conceived as.
So it's gonna be interesting, and that is supposed to. Okay, the canon for the TV Marvel stuff has been all over the damn place, but this is officially the first real MCU TV show, 100% in, not kind of sort of in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, or kind of sort of we mentioned things in the Defenders.
Well, Agent Carter was 100% canon.
That was, canonized 100% by Endgame, but like we didn't know for sure how things connected.
Well, Feige in interview said it was canon.
Yeah, it is. But I'm just saying, like the TV show, we're like, okay, cool, it's in the past, and that they mentioned some things, but we're, because it's all weird. I
know. Yeah, but then ask them which timeline, and then they just go, I have no idea, because we don't know what Captain America did when he returned everything. and then decided to stay in the past. Oh, it's like when I ask people about Ezra Miller showing up in the Flash TV show. Okay, so was that the Snyderverse or the Whedonverse?
Both. It's all the verses.
Yeah, and they just go, I don't want to think about that right now. My head hurts.
Forever do time travel.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm like going, then you better not go see Tenet. If you can't handle that, you're not going to handle Tenet.
You're not be able to hear it either because it's hard to understand.
So this is going to be canonized into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is the Madness, Multiverse of Madness, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've heard that they're doing some filming for that in New York with Sam Raimi's directing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So am I. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Scott Derrickson continue, but I don't know why he's not. The bottom line is, I will see whatever movie he does next. I will gladly see it. He's one of those directors. I will go see his stuff sight unseen. I don't even have to hear about it. Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi too. He's one of those guys. I mean, one thing though about Bull Durham that I think was an opportunity missed. I wish he had used that tunnel shot that he used in Evil Dead. I would have loved to have seen a baseball thrown like that. Yeah. Heck, Spider-Man, I would have loved to have seen him swing like that.
Yeah. Did you say Bull Durham?
Yeah.
You meant for the love of the game.
Oh, sorry. Here I am. Ugh.
So yeah, all the Disney movies are being pushed back. All the Marvel Cinematic movies, and you're right. It's been 10 years. And we're gonna miss a Marvel Cinematic movie this year, and depending on how things are, we may miss a DC movie too. Wonder Woman may get pushed. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we had Birds of Prey, which was good enough.
True. Yeah, we got some information on the biggest box office movie before Endgame, which was Avatar, and Avatar 2 and 3 news. So, in an interview that, not with the public, it was weird. I watched the interview from beginning to end. Arnold Schwarzenegger decided to interview James Cameron. I don't know why, but just because, and maybe 80% in the interview is about being an environmentalist and about being a vegan. And
lame.
The last part, oh, by the way, tell me more about Avatar. What's going on with that movie? And I was like, oh yeah, so we finished production of Avatar 2 filming. So Avatar 2 is 100% filmed, and Avatar 3 is 95% film. So
why do we need Avatar 2 and 3? That's the real question.
We don't, but they were Fox assets and Disney bought them, which, thinking about it, that's why New Mutants didn't get reshoots or just got dumped in theaters. It's just them dumping off the extra Fox stuff. I guess the bottom line is going to see if they have the merch rights and if they have all the rights to Avatar, we'll see what they do. If Disney thinks they can set up a theme park stuff with Avatar, they'll push it. Otherwise, they'll dump it.
I mean, they already have the Avatar world at Disney World, I think, or Disneyland.
Okay, then they're gonna push it because Disney is all about the parks.
They're all about the money.
Yeah, but the parks is what brings them. Used to bring them their money. Not so much right now.
They're still selling out those reservations every day. I mean, people are still wanting to go.
Yeah, Disney World, that's Florida. I mean, there's a reason why when you Google Florida, you get a hellacious bunch of news stories.
They reopened.
But Disneyland is still shut down.
Yeah. And I think Disney Shanghai and Disney Tokyo, is that still a thing? They're still closed?
They open and close. They were open and closed again because COVID just came rearing back. And heck, we're probably just a few weeks away from second wave here in the States.
Wave 10 by this point. It's so up and down. I'm so over COVID.
Yeah, and we've probably got another year of this.
Just bring it on. I'll punch you in the face.
If this makes you feel better, before modern medicine, one of these pandemics would run about 10 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, Spanish flu and like polio lasted a long time.
Yeah, and heck, the whole AIDS thing is still ongoing.
That's pretty much calmed down because hey, you can take medicine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an instant death sentence anymore, but if you still get it, it's going to greatly impact your life and it's going to shorten it.
All right, so back to Avatar. They're able to finish filming in New Zealand, and because New Zealand actually has their shit together and actually took care of everything right, so they're able to go back to recording. And if that, obviously CGI work is going to take some time. I think it's Avatar 2 is, when is that supposed to come out again? I don't
now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. December 2022?
December 16th, 2022. So with the CGI work, if it's all film done and they're still be able to finish Avatar 3 done, I'm guessing that Disney is going to just go ahead and release both of them. And I don't know the progress on the other ones, if it's like 4 and 5, if Disney's going to say, hold on, you got to film them back to back, but you can't film more until we get to see these movies make how much money they make,
Right.
Yeah.
Not going to be as successful as Avatar, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I can, I never count Cameron out. I mean, because it's like, I remember when everybody said Titanic was going to be a bomb, it was going to end his career, and it was, for the longest time, it was the highest grossing movie until he broke his own record with Avatar. I mean,
he got like awards, he got fame, fortune, he got his vegan style.
And Terminator 2, I am going to say, is easily the best Terminator movie, and I think it's way better than the first one.
You mean Dark Fate not the best Terminator film?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah, and that's a trailer I also saw in 3D.
Never came out in 3D here, as far as I know.
No, it did not. And they didn't even bother to change the trailer. They just had the 3D trailer. I mean, they didn't even give that much of a shit. I mean, they just released it with the trailer saying 3D and then no 3D. And my theater was like, I was the only person to ask. Nobody else seemed to care.
Be a real loser, because
seemed to care.
Be a real loser because that movie nobody's gonna see. So no 3D.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember back in the day, he said that Avatar 2 was going to be glasses-free 3D. And is there any glasses-free 3D theaters in the world right now? I don't think so.
I don't think the technology's there.
It's the 3D glasses-free 3D is such a narrow field of vision. I heard rumors of something being tested in Shanghai, but that was all pre-COVID. I imagine those plans were scuttled.
Yeah.
Because you have to sit in a very specific area to get it. You can't just sit anywhere in the theater. So you have to be in like the center row, the center row, the center column, like perfectly in the right sweet spot. And if you don't get in that sweet spot, you can't see it. And he did also say that some of the movies filmed in different frame rates, and it's all gonna make sense when you see it. And it seems like 2 and 3 are it. I'm reading here on Wikipedia that if 2 and 3 don't make enough money, then 4 and 5 won't be made. So Fox is Disney is like letting them just, all right, do your 2 and 3. You have to prove yourself after that, which is basically what I said. So obviously we got to see how that works, but he said it's going to be amazing, and it's going to have a bunch of underwater effects, and it's going to be a revolution of 3D, and hopefully
so fascinated with underwater to quit doing it. I'm so tired of water. He done Titanic, he done Abyss, no more water.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. The underwater scenes in Gemini Man looked really badass. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Gemini Man just looked badass. In the high frame rate, in the 3D. Yeah, high frame rate and 3D go together great.
Yes, except for The Hobbit, which didn't work.
I think that depends on your theater. Because one theater I saw one at, it didn't look great. But when I went to a better theater that ironically was not IMAX, it looked much better.
Yeah, it didn't look that great of a movie to begin with, so I didn't even see them in theaters.
New Jake, what's your thoughts on high frame rate?
It has potential, but the only one that's kind of really succeeded so far that I've seen was Gemini Man, but even then, it looked too fluid. It kind of looked like a video game or a soap opera, where just, digital smoothness, no 24 frames a second natural movement. It just looked sickeningly smooth, which is very annoying to me.
It didn't bother me at all. I thought it was actually really cool. But I think I'm used to playing video games, and I want 60 frames a second. So, my eyes are used to it. So,
but with film, though, I want that difference. I want that 24 frames a second.
All right, we got one last topic to talk about. So this movie, I wasn't really sure if it was a 3D movie at all. I'm assuming it is because it's animated and it's from Sony, and Sony has a great track record with making 3D movies, but it was going to come out next month. Connected. Now it's delayed till sometime this year, maybe. I don't know. Right?
We'll know when we know. It's
Is anybody really wanting Connected? That's the real question.
It seemed okay. I was like, that meme with the football player. They got me in the first half, no lie. The first half, I was like, okay, cool. It's, family animated movie about, getting off the internet and having a family moment, and then robots attack. And it's like, I don't know about this robot stuff, but okay.
Yeah. I really don't know about it. I mean, it's a Lord Miller film, so I have kind of hopes for it because he did the excellent Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film, but who knows with this one?
Yeah. Yeah, this is like Wish Dragon, which who knows if it's even been produced, much less going to get a release.
Right. It'll probably just be on like a streaming service at the end of the day because Sony delayed everything else. Why not this one the next year?
Exactly.
I mean, Sony has a streaming platform, Crackle, but I don't think they're gonna do it on Crackle.
who watches Crackle anymore?
Yeah.
It's Crackle is so weird because like I remember like 5 years ago I was like, okay, cool, and then it kind of got annoying because Crackle has an issue with the ads, at least for my experience, where they would show the same damn ad over and over again. It's just like,
yes, they did.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
and I can't tolerate that.
And it would hang on the ad.
Yeah,
it wouldn't cut back to the show. It just hang, and you'd have to jump out of the app and then start it, and then all of a sudden you're back at the beginning.
I mean, it ruined Joe Dirt 2 for me, but then again, it was Joe Dirt 2.
Yeah, really. Don't you almost deserve to go through that for Joe Dirt? Just say it.
For President 2024.
Hey, to be him versus Joe Exotic.
Hey, that'd be a great fight, Joe versus Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, Crackle's it's still around, and they have, I think, some TV shows that are new and unique, but I don't know anyone that's like, yay, I can't wait to watch that on Crackle,
Yeah.
It's Quibi.
Yeah, it's been Quibi. I don't. Yeah, is Quibi even still around?
Yeah, they're trying to sell themselves already.
Yeah, I can understand that.
90% of their subscribe base since they launched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, connected. I mean, it's kind of a weird topic right now that, you don't need to stay home. Let's go out and have an adventure, and it's kind of weird right now in COVID time. So this could easily be moved to next year, and I don't think anyone cares.
Move it to next September. That'll be fine. Just dump it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting, some of these release dates too, kind of just to say, it's like, okay, that's the end of October. So it's kind of like ready for Halloween. So it's not really a Halloween movie. And then Croods 2 being pushed up to November 25th, which was a week after Soul. So Soul and Croods 2 are going to be fighting each other, which is like, why?
Soul comes out in theaters. So that's the real thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We haven't really heard anything recent about Soul. I figured they would want, if there was anything they wanted to get out, because Soul is like a slam dunk for an Oscar in the best animated film category, probably.
Yeah, it looked great. The trailers, the 3D, and the trailer looked really good before onward. I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
maybe it'll be on Disney. Who knows?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised any movies are coming out the rest of the year.
Yeah. I mean, mostly the new James Bond is still coming out in November, like early November, and then Soul, and what else is there?
Yeah, that James Bond movie apparently is a 3D movie outside of the US, right? It's weird.
From what I hear.
It figures. And meanwhile, and I wanted to see Sponge on the Run on the big screen and in 3D, and I can't get into Canada.
It's not even in 3D in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I keep hearing different reports, but no firsthand.
Yay.
Like, I heard a report on Facebook that someone in Singapore tried to watch Mulan in 3D, and they went to the theater and it wasn't available. So, who knows if movies come back, if 3D is going to be an option next year or this year,
Better. they spent all that money. Why not release it?
Yeah,
And then
really.
that's going to be interesting too, because 3D Blu-rays are very rare now. So, they could back in the day be like, all right, it'll just be 3D Blu-ray only kind of thing. But now it's kind of, I don't know what movies are going to be in Blu-ray anymore at all. Like 4K Blu-rays are not a hit really. And I mean, I think it's really great quality. It's just, it seems like a lot of people are totally fine with streaming and have no interest in buying discs anymore. So I think there's definitely demand for it, but not as much as it used to be.
Right, because I mean, internet service just keeps getting better, and it's more widespread and cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, these days the only discs I pick up are 3D discs simply because there's very few streaming options for 3D, and most of them look crappy anyway.
I think Voodoo is the last one that I can think of.
That's in the U.S. I think there's
The U.S.
another one in the outside the U.S., but I don't know the top of my head.
I think
And then there's some gray market stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken in the gray market stuff, and yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
That's all I will say. Anybody who's been into 3D for any length of time is very aware of the gray market.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it for the show. There's so many things going on, and some positive news with the Croods going up a month, but everything else being delayed, and I don't know when or if they're really gonna come out. It just depends on how things are. Trump said that the cure is coming next month, right before Election Day, and you can believe him if you want, but I don't think so.
No, I'm agreeing with that.
So,
well,
even if there is a vaccine next month, I'm not 100% sure it'll be a safe one. So we'll see what happens. The box office in the movie in the U.S. has been fairly anemic. So, like, people are not interested in seeing movies in the U.S. Other parts of the world, it's making some money, but not anywhere as it used to be, right?
That's because of New York and LA. Those are two huge markets. No theaters are open.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, isn't, like, Tenet only gotten, like, $20 million or something?
I think as of right now, it is at $36 million.
Which is what you would expect it to be the first weekend here in a normal year.
It's like $70-80 million because it's Christopher Nolan. It's IMAX, but nothing.
But yeah, you would imagine Tenet, if it wasn't COVID-19, it made $250 million worldwide, I think, right now. It would have easily made that the first weekend. And it would still be...
Yeah, definitely.
So if you split that up, it's not that well. It's not worth it,
No.
So
it's barely made back budget.
Yeah, I mean, it's eventually going to break even, but
Hopefully.
I don't know if it's obviously this was a setup for a trilogy, but I would be surprised we get any more Tenet movies.
Yeah, I mean, if the rest of the world wants to see Tenet, maybe we'll get Tenet too. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see how things are going, and I guess that's going to wrap up this podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Bye.
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 But wait, there's more.
All right, so Jake, we're back.
Yep.
And unfortunately, new Jake is not here. So this is an additional section of the 3D Show 92. This was not supposed to be part of the show. We got quite a few little topics to add to this show. So let's go for one of the big ones first. I mean, all of these are big enough that are interesting enough to talk about. So the first thing up is Warner Brothers delayed a whole bunch of movies.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked.
So this started off with Dune. We heard maybe a week ago that Dune was delayed from Christmas, or a week before Christmas, to now 2021. So that's actually October 1st, which was the release date for Batman, which then meant that Batman was delayed. And Batman has now been delayed to, what is it, 2022 March, I think it is, right?
Yeah, I think they're going to change that.
So, and then just down the line, Matrix got pushed up, which, okay. It was set to come out in April, now it's coming out December of 21.
I think they just want to give it another change of date. I'm like, really? You gonna bump a movie up? Just don't print any stuff because you're gonna have to trash it when you have to change the date again.
So I did say March 4th, 2022 for Batman. That's the official date. And Matrix 4 now has the date of, it was April 1st, 2022. Now it's December 22nd, 21. Yeah. And so then we also got unannounced, yet to be announced movies that are we're supposed to release. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's go to the Flash movie, which was June 3rd, 22. Now it's November 4th, 22. When's that Flash movie coming out, Jake?
When the Gambit movie comes out at this point, I'm guessing.
Shazam 2 now has been pushed back from November 4th, 22 to June 2nd, 23.
Not a bad date.
Black Adam was December 22nd, 21. And Minecraft movie was supposed to be coming out March 3rd, 2022. Now are not on the calendar at all.
Interesting.
So, I mean, in fairness, it's probably better just to put a lot of these movies not on the calendar because who the hell knows how things are going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason they're sticking things on calendars is to try to keep their stock prices from plummeting.
So Wonder Woman still is on Christmas 2020.
There are rumors to the contrary, but they're not from any verifiable source, and the information sounds so contrary to the way Warner Brothers does business. I wouldn't believe it until I heard it out of Variety.
So yeah, I mean, VOD is such a weird beast right now. I mean, some of it, obviously people are like, why don't they just release everything? And part of it too is they're not 100% confident going to make money. And two, there's contracts. There's contracts when they make a movie. And
yeah,
if you break those contracts, that's a lot of fees you have to pay, and it may not be worth it.
Yeah, and video on demand prices are horrible if you're like a single person or a couple going to seeing a movie. I mean, it costs more than a ticket in most markets outside of LA and New York and maybe Chicago, possibly at some theaters in Atlanta. I'm trying to think of some other expensive markets, but you know what I'm saying, because the average video on demand premium is $30 and higher. But if you got a whole family, there's like 6 of you watching a movie or more, man, then all of a sudden $30 is pretty cheap.
Yeah, there's definitely a weird kind of scale there. Because like when my wife and I would watch an IMAX 3D movie, which is supposed to be the best of the best, that would be about $35 for the both of us to watch it. So it would be like $17 or something like that after that's with the 3D and after taxes. So yeah, that was okay, cool. I don't mind paying that to see Avengers Endgame in IMAX 3D. Don't mind that. That's an experience. IMAX, for a lot of occasions, is a really great way to watch movies. Now, obviously, $30 to watch it at home, no. For me and my wife, no, that's not a good deal. But like you said, if you have kids, yeah, the $30 is a pretty good price for, or $20 for peace of mind, shut up the kids for a little while.
Yeah, or if you're quarantined with a bunch of cousins or whatever, there's a whole bunch of you want to watch a movie. It's an awesome deal, $30. Hey, for all of you.
So, like Wonder Woman, I think there's certain movies that would work, and certain movies it's not going to work. Like I can imagine people if let's just say they do have it, just throwing out there the rumor there is Wonder Woman 1984's video on demand for Christmas. I imagine a lot of families would do that because guess what? It's Christmas, and we're gonna try to have many family members over together, and one person paying $30, and 10 people, 15 people watch it at home. That's a good deal.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I'll bring up, when Scoob was released to video on demand by Warner Brothers, you just like a few bucks more, you could own it.
Yeah. So
they might. So I could see them doing that with Wonder Woman 84, possibly. I mean, they could do it, but just doing it a straight video on demand, I don't think they would. But who knows? This is an unverified story. The sources that are running with it, they're going with this one unverified source. And I'm just saying, there's been nothing. If they were planning on doing this, they would have made the announcement with the other movies. So I just think it's something they're just mulling over right now.
So we got more delays. Jurassic World Dominion, the third World movie, is officially delayed to 2022. So it's supposed to come out now on June 10th, 22. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to film through it. And we talked about this earlier in the podcast, that they were just, okay, we'll spend the $10 million, on COVID tests to keep it going. But apparently they just decided to just move on. And it's easier just to go ahead and just delay it and forget about it.
It is what it is.
And Universal also delayed Fast and Furious. Or, yeah, I think it's May now, 2021. I mean, we don't know if that's a 3D movie. And then some of this was started by James Bond. Because he has no time to die, Jake.
Yeah.
2020.
So pulled out of the schedule, which triggered a whole lot of crap.
So that was supposed to come out in November, and apparently in other parts of the world it's 3D movie. In America, no. At least not that I knew.
Hey, yeah, we ain't getting bunkers.
So that led to Regal, aka Cineworld, depending where you are in the world, has ceased operation in the US and UK. Now, hold on. Before we get too invested in this, they're just closing down the stores. They're not going bankrupt. So, for the foreseeable future, you can't see a movie in Regal Cinemas in the UK or Cinema World Regal Cinemas, and they're that whole beast that is Regal Cinemas there.
Yeah, Regal's shutting down October 8th, 2020. Who knows when or if they're reopening. Cineworld's in a lot of trouble. Heck, all the theaters are in trouble. Hollywood just released a letter requesting coronavirus aid be directed towards the cinemas.
And we do have an official statement from Cinema World, which I apologize for for coughing. I don't know what those coughs are. Hopefully it's not COVID, but
it is what it is.
All right. In response to increasingly challenging theatrical landscape and sustained key market closures due to the coronavirus pandemic, Cineworld confirmed that it will be temporarily suspending operations at all of its 536 Regal theaters in the U.S. and its 127 Cineworld and Picture House theaters in the U.K. from October 8th, 2020. So some theaters are open and they've been struggling, making some money, but obviously not enough to feel like they could keep it up.
Yeah, well, between the outrageous prices for concessions, the complete lack of follow through with safety protocols, like nobody's taking anybody's temperature, nobody's enforcing mask wearing or where people sit or anything. If anything, they have less employees than before, and you see them clean, but that's about it.
That's from your own experience going to the theaters,
Oh,
right?
that's from it's my own experience. I have walked out of more screenings without seeing a movie than I have attended. And the reason I can do this is because my 12 months on when you sign up for a Regal plan, for all the movies at one price, you have to keep it for a year. My year's not up yet. I have to pay whether I use it or not. So, but I'll be probably canceling. Well, yeah, I actually plan on canceling before my next month rolls over, because I don't think they're opening anytime soon, and I believe my 12 months were up at the first of this month, so I'm gonna get out while the getting's good, because I just think they're donezo.
So I was really tempted to get one of those movie plans last year because AMC was very tempting, because I feel like that I've had pretty good experiences with AMC and it's a really good deal, like money wise. And the only problem was AMC is really only one theater in like 30 miles from me, and those times were never great for me. So that's why I didn't go to that theater, because those times weren't good. So Regal was better because there's more Regal around me, but just it's like I hesitated, I wasn't sure, and I'm kind of glad I did, because obviously I would not have used it, because the last movie I saw in theater was Onward, and the next 3D movie, Jake, is Pixar's Soul, which is not supposed to come out until November 20th. So we still got another month and change before.
Yeah, but it looks like there's going to be no theaters open. So
yeah,
I mean, because when Regal shuts down, that's going to shut down a majority of the theaters in Oregon.
So in America, it seems like AMC and Cinemark are the two companies, right? And then Regal is the other company, and there's basically that duopoly and then there's maybe a couple smaller places here and there. Where I live, there's a company called Evo, but they're basically those two or three, theater chains. So I haven't gone to Evo theaters in a while because of the situation, and I don't know if I really would want to at this time. They do have like an arcade, and they're like basically like Dave and Buster's at the movie theater. And I do not have any faith in I guess I could wear gloves, but going to a video arcade with COVID in the air, nope.
Yep. Yeah, we lost our second run, our Northern Lights. They're a chain of second run movie theaters. They shut down, and I'm pretty sure it's for good, at least locally.
So, with one major of the cinema theater chains being closed indefinitely, I've been waiting for this day, for this time, where basically all the rest of the cards just fall, and they just basically announce one day, enough, and no more movies at all, in 2020, and they just delay everything else. Wonder Woman, Soul goes to Disney Plus, and that's it. I'm just expecting that any day now.
Well, I don't think we're gonna have any major releases, but you're gonna see minor releases because guys are gonna see opportunities. Like Pure Flix is gonna be putting out stuff, and a lot of the indies, some of the indies, they're gonna. I mean, who would think Hocus Pocus would be the number 2 movie in the country right now?
Now AMC and Cinemark, which I'm confused who owns who anymore. So apologize.
Cinemark and Century are owned by the same people. AMC is separate and Regal is separate.
So AMC and Cinemark, this is Fox Business, which for business wise, I will trust them as a news source. Anyway, so yeah, they said despite their competition closing, Cinemark and AMC have no plans to shut down. So they're still going for the time being, but obviously things may change by the time you're listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
It may change in a week, it may change in a day. It may change tomorrow, it may change the day after tomorrow. We'll see, yeah. But Cinemark did say that they are committed to staying open. But it is what it is, and if a big boy like Regal can go down, the rest are going down too, eventually. I mean, in fairness, there hasn't been... I mean, Tenet has been a big movie, but besides that, what else is actually out in the theaters that's new, that people want to see?
I mean, nothing's making big money. I mean, Tenet is doing better than I thought it would do, but it's not doing... But Nolan hasn't... I mean, he's only had a few blockbuster movies. He's not a blockbuster filmmaker. I mean, Dunkirk did a hell of a lot better than people thought it would. And, of course, the fanboys who love him for the Batman trilogy, are always hoping he'll make another superhero movie. He kind of did with Tenet, but...
But, like, we have the New Mutants out, which has been kind of a flop.
Yeah.
And The War with Grandpa, which, The War with Grandpa, why didn't that just go out to,
Yeah, that's probably a contract.
Because that could be easily, press release. Here you go. This is now on Hulu or now on,
But I would say it's a contract is why. Because that's why New Mutants did what it did. Is it was an obligation. And you could also tell Disney did nothing they were not obligated to do. They dumped that movie in the theater.
Like the Broken Hearts Gallery is out. Shortcut. I don't know what these movies are. Unhinged. Words on Bathroom Walls. I don't know what these things are. I don't want to go to movies for these things. So it's not, even if it was 100% safe, do you really want to go for that? I mean, sometimes they have old movies,
I liked Unhinged. Is it worth risking your life? No. It's but when it comes, when you can see it online, I recommend it. I mean, Russell Crowe is it's a tour de force.
Okay.
Perform, and Jimmy Simpson is really, really good in a small part.
Oh, Bill and Ted Face the Music is another big one that's out there, and it's okay. It's not bad. It's just. Mm-hmm. My point is, there's nothing there that you're like, oh my god, I want to see this in the theater, Yeah,
well, Bill and Ted, I don't even know I don't think it even played where I live because it was on video on demand.
So, all right, we do got one more movie that is actually coming out in 2020, apparently.
Okay.
Monster Hunter.
They should call it. They should just rename it Corona Hunter.
So it got moved from September of this year to April of 2021, and then now it has a release date. Now this release date is insane because it's the middle of the damn week. I checked it out in the calendar, so I don't know what they gained from this, but it's apparently gonna release on December 30th. So barely 2020, but I mean December 30th. Why would that's a Wednesday.
And drive-ins are probably going to be closed because it's the dead of winter.
I don't remember any movie coming out on like that close to New Year's. Christmas, yeah. Maybe a week before Christmas, sure. But that I don't remember anything coming out right before New Year's. Because New Year's Day would be the first on the Friday.
Yeah, this is really weird for the U.S., but I could see it throughout Asia for the holiday. But damn, that's just like I said, a small thing. Because if this is probably Mila and her husband adapting another video game franchise into a movie.
Yes, it is. And there was a trailer for it, or a teaser for it, which was like 10 seconds long. Which, if they're going to announce a movie coming out this year, might as well get the full trailer. What are you waiting for, man?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But, okay, fine.
Unless it really sucks. That's why they're not showing us a trailer. But hey, you do what you got to do. I'm going to sit here theaterless pretty soon. Well, not 100%, but I think my main option is a couple of drive-ins that for a single adult, it's like video on demand prices. So I'm like, do I really want to spend all that money to sit in my car and listen through my car speakers to a movie that I'm like, when I could sit at home in my underwear, drink alcohol, and not have to worry about getting a DUI or anything?
So the trailer here for Jake, it's interesting because you basically see Mila Jovovich, and she has like a big minigun, and she's on a Jeep, and a monster is coming after them, big giant thing, and they're just shooting it down. And I'm going to call out one of our favorite people that follows us and is a friend of the show, Patrick from Malaysia. He said, I don't remember when Monster Hunter had a Jeep and modern guns in it. And he's right, because that's not what Monster Hunter is about. It's about hunting monsters and using their bodies as weapons, and it's not supposed to be taking place in modern times with guns and cars. It's supposed to take place in like, just imagine like orc fantasy kind of middle time frame kind of thing, where you're not supposed to have these, new technology guns. The whole point is that you're supposed to use the, jawbone that's super sharp of the shark, and, use the shark's teeth as a sword, and then you use that sword to hunt down a mammoth, and then that mammoth you use the, the fur to make yourself armor. So that's the kind of idea with Monster Hunter games. I've only played one, which is on the 3DS, and I got bored of it like 10 minutes in, and it wasn't really for me. It's one of those games that if you're really into it, you're really into it, but outsiders have a hard time coming into that franchise because everything is built on the last one. So it's, not friendly to people that haven't played any of them.
So I see this as they've made a movie based on a game that people who don't play it are going to have zero interest in, people who aren't gamers are going to have even less interest in. And to the hardcore, they're going to absolutely hate it because it has absolutely nothing to do with the source material. Yeah, sounds like the Resident Evil franchise.
Yep, that's a great analogy. Basically, Resident Evil franchise. Yeah, we took out some parts here and there of the games, but then, character here, scenario there, but we've mixed it all together to make our mess of a movie franchise, and that's basically what they're doing here. So, apparently, Monster Hunter is coming out December 30th of 2020.
Yeah, and Capco should have known better, and they should have insisted, because this isn't going to do anything for the Monster Hunter game.
So, yeah, it's just, there is new Monster Hunter games coming out soon, but I don't know if that has something to do with it. Like, I don't know when the new Monster Hunter is coming out, but they had a new trailer, anyway. So, Monster Hunter, apparently coming out this year, pushed into this year, and so, yeah, now, we have one more news story, Jake. One more thing.
Okay.
Now, I usually would say, promise not to laugh.
Okay. Laughter sort of involuntary. You know that, don't you?
So, we've had a lot of movies based on video games, on books, on, that's common. And occasionally you get a toy. So, do you want to try to... I'll give you 3 guesses, Jake. What popular toy, is now going to get a movie?
Twister?
Nope.
Okay. Let me think of something else ridiculous they would make a movie out of a toy. Trying to think.
It's an older toy.
Okay. The Thing Maker machine. That would be ridiculous.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let me think of some old toy. Don't tell me somebody's making a Magic 8-Ball movie.
Even worse.
Well, Magic 8-Ball, there is suspense when you turn it over and shake it. Okay. But okay, I give up.
Okay, Magic 8-Ball would actually... I kind of think that maybe that would work. Now that you said it that way, it may make a good horror movie or something.
Yeah.
But this goes upstairs and doesn't have many cares. Goes down the stairs. It's good. It's a good toy for boys and girls.
Slinky?
Slinky is getting a movie.
Oh my god! That's worse than Battleship.
And Tamara Davis, the filmmaker behind Billy Madison and Half Baked, is set to direct the Slinky movie.
Okay, so that either means Adam Sandler or Seth Rogen are going to show up in some capacity.
So I'm not sure if this is like a, fancy biopic from the makers of the Slinky, or if it's like an actual thing about the Slinky toy. It's supposed to start photography in 2021.
So I could see some real awesomeness with 3D with the Slinky.
Yeah, I mean, no guarantee this is going to be that,
But hey, who would think they would make a really, really, really good movie out of Legos? So maybe they'll surprise us.
The same director has done some TV episodes of Dead to Me, The Politician, Santa Clara Diet, and Grey's Anatomy, to name a few.
Okay, Santa Clarita Diet is really awesome. So maybe, and a lot of the other stuff I hadn't seen, so I don't know.
So yeah, Slinky is gonna get a movie. I don't know if it's a 3D movie or not. I don't know if it's a biopic.
So I wonder if we're gonna have Slinky Dog.
It's how they have those biopics that are loosely based on true events.
Yeah, like Michael Keaton is Ray Kroc for the founder, and yeah.
So it might be something like that. Which, if it's something like that, okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody hasn't done a Mary Kay biopic with Reese Witherspoon already.
Yeah, I mean it's a female inventor, so that's cool. But
Yeah, no, but it's just one of those things that writes itself, pretty much. I mean, unless Mary Kay really doesn't want to tell their story about their founding.
who knows what skeletons they have in their closet. Anyway, so Slinky, yeah, screenplay is getting an principal photography is going to start in 2021, and that's just got announced. So yeah, apparently a Slinky movie.
Hey, if they made a Warcraft movie. They're probably going to make another one because it made a bunch of money in China. Nowhere else, but it made a ton of money in China. And yeah, the Chinese market seems to be the only film market in 2020 that's making money.
We'll see what happens. Who knows if this gets greenlit, and it's already in the works. So, but Slinky movie coming soon to cinemas eventually, or on demand at home.
Hopefully, somebody will discover the Mystic Skull game and make a movie out of that. Just saying.
So we only have 4 more movies coming out, theoretically speaking, in 2020. Soul, Croods 2, Wonder Woman, and Monster Hunter. Somehow or another, they're all really close to each other, too. So, Pixar's Soul is November 20th, and Croods is a week later, November 25th, or less than a week. And then Wonder Woman is Christmas, and Monster Hunter is now December 30th. So if it goes down, it's gonna all go down with it. I mean, it doesn't seem very much. Oh, before we go, let me go ahead and now New Jake is not available to record, but he did offer some of his insights. That he did want us to mention. He says that Monster Hunter moving up is a bold move. He thinks that Sony is dumping movies that he doesn't think will be likely a success, and partly fulfill contracts and such. Now, the Batman delay cuts deep, really deep for him. It's another anniversary of Batman, so it really hurts his soul to have to wait that long for Batman.
I thought it was a bad move to move it there.
And next year, 2021 is going to be either a crazy year or another year like this, because
they're just gonna push dates down they're just gonna look. I just think they're playing these games now with announcements is to kind of keep their stock prices up, to make it look like they can do something when everybody's just twiddling their thumbs, waiting for a cure, herd immunity, or a plan to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take months to get the vaccine out to market that is completely sustainable for everyone, in the world.
Yeah, that won't kill us.
So, and it's spreading. It's definitely spreading.
Oh, yeah.
Not really calming down any. It's just kind of...
We're ramping up if we're not already in the second wave. And if COVID-19 holds true to other pandemics, whether they be a virus or a bacteria caused, usually the second wave is the deadliest of all of them. So get your guard back up and stay safe, people. Wash your hands and social distance. That's all you can do to try to keep yourself and your loved ones safe.
And, try not to have parties and stuff. I know it sucks. I know I'm tired of it too. Everyone's tired of it. It's been months like this.
Everybody's sick of this, but we're no further along with containing this than we were back in March.
So it's depending where you live in the world, this is a global podcast. So, some parts of the world are better than us. And, almost all parts of the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We've got 5% of the population and almost a quarter of the COVID cases.
I know India's numbers have started going up, but still.
Yeah.
It's rough all over, and,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This apocalypse has changed the world.
All right. Well, that'll be it for this extended edition of episode 92. Hopefully, we'll see when we can do another episode. Bye.
Bye. Stay safe out there, folks.
Yeah, stay safe. Bye. Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D and Mr. Bango5 for your financial support on patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.